Good afternoon and welcome once again to CCAC Baseball. St. Francis against Calumet College of St. Joseph. Game 2 of a doubleheader coming your way. Terry Bonadonna with you once more here in Joliet, the home of St. Francis, who today is the visiting side against Calumet for today's doubleheader. The Fighting Saints took the opener of this twin bill, a 7-inning contest, which they won 8-1, and now it's time for Game 2 as we take a look at the starting lineup for the Fighting Saints. Noah Carraro leads things off playing shortstop, and he digs in to hit first. John McGuire, the second baseman, will bat next, followed by first baseman Eric Maffey. I'll get to the rest of the starters in just a moment, but we are ready to get going. The first pitch of the ball game is taken up and in for ball one, and we're underway. 3:26 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It is 1-0. Noah Carraro, who had a very nice first game offensively. Carraro reached base a couple of times on a single and a double and scored both times. He is ahead in the count here, 2-0, facing a right-hander for Calumet St. Joe's, who used two pitchers in game one. Maxwell Everart starts game two and misses inside ball three. Everart makes his fourth start of the year. It's his seventh appearance overall. He's 1-3 with a 9.75 ERA. In 24 innings pitched, he's allowed 29 runs, 26 of them earned on 30 hits and 14 walks. He has struck out 21, and he fires a strike to Carraro to make the count 3-1. Game one for Calumet featured Bubba Davenport starting and going 2 innings. And then great work out of the bullpen from Marcus Cervantes, who went 5 and allowed just 2 runs. Swing and a miss. The count goes full on Noah Carraro, 3-2, leading off today's ball game. The weather conditions have improved a little bit since we started game one just about 2.5 hours ago. The sun is shining overhead right now. Carraro pops one up on the infield right at the pitcher, and it almost popped out of the glove of Everart, but he's able to pull it in and make the squeeze in enough time to get Carraro for out number one. I'll bring up John McGuire. Mention Eric Maffey will hit third. Jake Lesota, the catcher, is the cleanup batter. Hitting fifth is designated hitter Josh Kernbauer. Gio Pappas hits sixth in right field. Batting seventh is third baseman Alex Martinez. Luke Ketchum plays center, and batting ninth is left fielder Sam Tumulty. Ball one high on John McGuire. McGuire went 2 for 4 with a couple of singles and an RBI in game one. Everybody got in on the action in game one for St. Francis as McGuire takes ball 2 outside. Second straight batter that Everart has fallen behind. 1 through 9, everybody made a contribution. Only one batter in the lineup for the Fighting Saints in the opener did not reach base at least once. Swing and a miss, 2-1. That was Luke Ketchum, who did have a sacrifice bunt, and so only finished with 2 at-bats officially. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball left side. Bubba Davenport grabs it. The third baseman flings it over to first in time. Davenport lasted just 2 innings on the mound in game one, so his arm is fresh enough to be out there in the field. And he makes a long throw over to first base here for the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down. Eric Maffey will be charged with trying to keep this inning alive. Maffey reached base 3 times in game one. A couple of singles, a hit by pitch, a run, an RBI. Really nice all-around game for the first baseman. He faces Everart for the first time and takes ball one high. Everart has missed on the opening pitch to each of the first 3 hitters. He's thrown 6 balls compared to 5 strikes thus far, but that lopsided ratio has not harmed him as he has recorded the first 2 outs without getting anybody on base. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. Bubba Davenport in game one got off to a great start on the mound. Set the side down on just 6 pitches in the first and then kind of collapsed in the second. Ball upstairs, 2-1. The fact that things haven't gone quite so easily for Maxwell Everart here in game two in the first inning doesn't mean that long term it's a bad thing for Calumet. Fouled back. The count is even, and the Saints are down to their final strike of the first inning. Game 1 featured only one perfect inning tossed by Calumet pitchers. Mark Cervantes set the bottom third of the order down, 1, 2, 3 in the fifth. Now Everart's trying to do it in the first inning of Game 2. The 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, the count's gone full. Second full count of this first inning. If Maffey reaches base, Jake Lasota will bat next. Righty versus righty. Here's the 3-2. Ball 4 outside. He walked him. And the Saints have their first base runner here in the first inning. So Eric Maffey draws the 2-out walk. And Jake Lasota hits with 1 on and 2 out. Lasota had a pair of hits, including a double in Game 1. He went 2 for 4. And now as the first inning has new life following the 2-out walk, Lasota will try to keep Everart on his heels here. Everart pitches out of the stretch for the first time today. Runner goes, the pitch is taken high for a ball. Throw to second base is close, but not in time. So Eric Maffey steals his 4th base of the year, and the count is 1-0 on Jake Lasota. New catcher behind the plate here in Game 2. It's Sergio Olivares. We saw the Saints running all over Xavier Sanchez in Game 1. Sanchez has had a lot of problems trying to cut down base stealers this year. Not a bad throw there from Olivares, just a hair late. Called strike on Lasota. The count moves to 1-1. Olivares has been a little bit worse even than Sanchez catching base stealers this year. Sanchez has caught 2 of 35, and now following that one, Olivares has caught 1 of 35 attempted base stealers. 1-1 pitch. Taken inside, ball 2 on Jake Lasota. Long first inning for Everart, and now with the stolen base, the Saints have put him in a corner. A base hit here from Lasota likely gives them the first run of the game. Trying to strike first for the second straight ball game after they scored the first 7 runs in Game 1. 2-1. Ground ball through the hole on the left side. Maffey is being waved around. Nicholas Anderson comes up throwing. Here comes the play to the plate, cut off by the pitcher. And the Saints do indeed strike first. 1-0 their lead, thanks to back-to-back 2-out base runners. That stolen base made a pretty big impact as well. So with 2 outs and nobody on, a walk, a steal, a single, and it's 1-0 Fighting Saints. John Peterson comes in to run for Lasota at first base. The batter is Josh Kernbauer. Lasota's first RBI of the doubleheader. Did score a run on a swing in the first game, but that was on a double play. It's his 12th RBI of the season. John Peterson is at first. Josh Kernbauer in the batter's box. Everart whips one over to first base and sends Lasota diving back to the bag. See how patient Kernbauer is here. Everart has thrown a first pitch ball to everybody thus far. And has still thrown more balls than strikes as Peterson takes off and Kernbauer is hit by the first pitch. So the wildness of Everart goes beyond just falling behind hitters. He's now got a hit by pitch and a walk, both with 2 outs this inning as Jake Lasota advances to second base on the play. And after what looked like a sharp start, has not turned into a good first inning for Maxwell Everart. Everart Jr. from Hebron, Indiana. Pitching out of the stretch with 2 on and 2 out. His first pitch to Gio Pappas misses low and away, ball 1. 3 straight base runners for the Fighting Saints, and now we'll see if they can really make him pay for his wildness. Righty to righty, the 1-0 pitch. Looped into left field, another base hit. John Peterson around third base. Anderson's throw comes in, and it's not in time. John Peterson scores on the Gio Pappas single, and it's 2-0 St. Francis. That's 4 consecutive 2-out base runners for the Saints. Pappas, with the 2-out hit right there, has 8 RBIs now for the season. That brings Alex Martinez up, the 7th man to hit this inning. Josh Kernbauer stopped at second base on that Pappas single, so it's Kernbauer at second, Pappas at first. Maffey and Peterson have already scored, and out strike one on Martinez, and finally, Everett is ahead of a hitter. 7th batter of the game. That's the first time he's thrown a first pitch strike. 0-1 on Alex Martinez, who went 0 for 2 with a couple of walks and a run scored in game 1. He flies this into center field, shallow. Moore comes on, and he overran it. It's over his head. It drops in center field and rolls all the way to the wall. 2 runs score easily as Martinez heads to third base and makes it in, standing up with a triple. 4-0 St. Francis. 5 consecutive 2-out base runners for the Fighting Saints. That one should have ended the inning. The wind continues to blow. It was really howling out to straightaway center field early in the day. Blowing more across from left to right at the moment, but it played tricks with Sean Moore right there as the center fielder thought he had a routine play, and he overran it, and the ball dropped right behind him. And by the time he caught up with it, it was all the way at the warning track. So now it's Luke Ketchum, and he takes ball 1. 4-0 St. Francis in the first inning. Kernbauer and Pappas both score on the flyout, and the fact that there were 2 outs was key as they were both running on contact. Swing and a miss from Ketchum, 1-1. And they both scored easily. On a typical play, if that same thing occurred with 0 outs or 1 out, they would have had to hold up initially. Fouled back by Ketchum, 1-2. But since there were 2 outs, they were able to take off, and no problem getting both of those men home. I'm not sure it would have been an issue anyway, but it certainly wasn't because there were 2 outs. Ketchum is the 8th batter of the inning. Remember, the first 2 were both retired. Ball in the dirt. It skips away from Olivares, and Martinez scores. 5-0. So mistakes abound, and the control issues of Maxwell Everard continue to come back to bite him here. He's walked 1, he's hit 1, and now he's got a run-scoring wild pitch. 2-2 the count. And that gets by the catcher again. And that's ball 3. Full count here on Ketchum. This is the 31st pitch of the inning from Everard. And it's roped right at the third baseman. Bubba Davenport makes the catch and ends the inning. But another big one for St. Francis early. They scored 6 runs in the second inning of game 1. Here in game 2, they get 5 in the first, and all with 2 outs. We'll head to the bottom of the first inning, and Nick Villasenor will take the mound with a big cushion already. 5-0, Saints lead. Bottom of the first inning, our score is 5-0. St. Francis off to a great start. And now they take the field for the first time. Well, we get a look at Calumet's starting lineup. Gabriel Quinones leads things off, playing right field. Sean Moore bats second, the center fielder, and hitting third is first baseman Michael Matchnick, as the first pitch from Nick Villasenor hits the outside corner for strike one. Villasenor doing the pitching for St. Francis today, making his 6th start of the year. It's his 7th appearance overall. He clips the outside corner on this one. Count goes to 0-2. Villasenor is 1-3 with an 8.27 earned run average. Ground ball hit by Quinones to the right side, scooped up by the second baseman McGuire, and the throw to first is in time for out number 1. Good start for Villasenor and the St. Francis defense. We'll look at the rest of the numbers for Nick Villasenor. In 20 2/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 22 runs, 19 of them earned on 33 hits, 7 walks, 6 strikeouts. So he pitches to contact. He got it in that first at bat, a ground out to second base. And that brings up Sean Moore. He pops up the first pitch, fouled to the left side, and it reaches the seats for strike one. Villasenor is coming off of a fabulous start his last time out. It was 8 days ago on this field against Olivet Nazarene. He held him to just 1 run over 9 innings. Did not get the complete game nor the victory. It took 10 for St. Francis to win 2-1. But he was fantastic as he misses low here. 1-1 on Sean Moore. Moore in game 1 went 0 for 2 with the only RBI for Calumet. It was on a sacrifice fly. He moves ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Villasenor, the left-hander, winds and fires. Bouncing ball to the right side of the infield. Tough play for McGuire as he scoops it up, throws to first on the move, and he gets Moore by half a step. 2 down. Nice play by McGuire there on a softly hit ball with a speedy runner moving down the line. He had to act quickly, he had to do everything perfectly in order to get that ball into first base on time, and he did just that. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Michael Matchnick. The rest of the lineup for the Crimson Wave features left fielder Nicholas Anderson hitting cleanup. Sergio Oliveras bats 5th and does the catching. Bubba Davenport is the 3rd baseman. Batting 7th is the DH, Idan Ortiz. Cody Wilkins hits 8th at second base, and batting 9th is the shortstop, Maury Garrett Jr. Fouled back by Matchnick. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs, nobody on. Nick Villasenor working very quickly, trying to get through this first inning in a hurry. And he's 1 strike away from doing it. Clips the outside corner to make the count 1-2. Michael Matchnick went 1 for 3 with a single in game 1 this afternoon. He doesn't foul tip it. I thought he may have gotten a piece of that one. It popped out of the glove of Jake Lasota, but it was just a swing and a miss. And so the inning is over as Lasota tosses it over to first base to complete the out. A strikeout for Villasenor, a 1-2-3 inning for Villasenor. We'll head to the second. 5-0 St. Francis leads. Top of the second inning, St. Francis did some serious damage in the first. They'll try to do it again here against Everard as the first pitch comes in low and away for ball one on Sam Tumulty. Tumulty came in as a defensive replacement for Jake Vera in game one, ended up getting a pair of at-bats, grounded out, and was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded to bring home a run. Here he's got his first hit of the doubleheader, a single out to right field. Leadoff base runner for the Fighting Saints, so they stay on an offensive roll. They get their first man on base, their fourth hit of the game. In the first inning, Maxwell Everard retired 2 quick batters in a row before the next 5 reached consecutively. So that's now 6 of the last 7 who have reached base against him. So we go back to the top of the order, and Noah Carraro, who popped out to the pitcher to begin the game. First pitch to the Saints leadoff man is taken low and in for ball one. A lot of problems throwing strikes so far for Maxwell Everard. He's walked 1 batter, he's hit 1 batter, and he's tossed a wild pitch. So all the elements of wildness have been there, but perhaps most importantly, he has fallen behind every hitter and given a lot of good batters counts here. As this one's a strike, it's 1-1. This is the 10th batter he's faced. He's thrown a first pitch ball to 9 of the 10. More balls than strikes among his 30-some pitches so far. One and one. Runner goes. Low and in for a ball. Olivares' throw down to second is not in time. 2-1 on Noah Carraro. And Sam Tumulty has a stolen base. Second steal of the game for St. Francis. They continue to have a field day running on this Calumet battery, which in general this year has had trouble keeping base runners close. For Sam Tumulty, that is stolen base number 2 this season. Foul tipped straight back by Carraro. 2-2. Already a 5-run lead for the Fighting Saints. We're early in this second inning, and they're threatening to pull ahead a little bit further. Runner in scoring position, nobody out. Everard, 6'2" tall right-hander, hunches over and stares in at his catcher. Now set for the 2-2 pitch. Hits him. It's the second batter that has been hit so far in this game by Maxwell Everard, and it puts 2 men on base with nobody out for John McGuire.
Second baseman, number 13, John McGuire.
McGuire is 0 for 1 with a ground out. He bats for the second time. So we're barely into the second inning, barely into the second rotation through the batting order. 7 out of 9 Fighting Saints have reached at least once. McGuire pops up a bunt. Davenport dives, and he traps it. The ball rolls out of his glove, and everybody is safe. That'll go as an infield hit for John McGuire. Noah Carraro advances to second. Sam Tumulty to third. The bases are loaded with nobody out. If Davenport had played that one on a bounce, he probably would have had no problem getting the out at first base, and it would have been a simple sacrifice. But down by 5 runs already, he decided to sell out there and try to keep the runners where they were. It was a valiant effort, and he came up just a little bit short. And so now the bags are full with nobody out for Eric Maffey, who's already had a nice day at the plate. He takes ball 1. Another first pitch ball. That's 10 out of 12. So now 8 out of 9 hitters have come up for St. Francis, who have reached base, I should say. The only one who hasn't is Luke Ketchum, and Ketchum hit a screaming liner. It just happened to be right at Bubba Davenport. Ball low. Count is 2-0 on Eric Maffey. Maffey drew the walk in the first inning with 2 outs and nobody on. That extended the inning and ended up extending far enough for 5 runs to score. Two balls, no strikes, righty to righty. Maffey swings and ropes it down the left field line and just inside the line of fair ball. Tumulty scores, Carraro scores, McGuire around third base. The throw comes in from left and it's cut off. A 3-run double for Eric Maffey, and he has broken this game open. It's now 8-0. 3 RBIs on the play for Maffey, who had 1 in the first game and has now moved into the team lead with 13 runs batted in this season. We have not yet seen an out recorded in the top of the second. Here's Jake Lasota. 1 for 1 with an RBI single and a run scored. Lasota hits a hard grounder, fielded by the shortstop and bobbled by the shortstop. That's an error on Maury Garrett. Lasota is safe at first, and still there are no outs. Another man reaches for the Fighting Saints, and that's 5 in a row for them. Already the second time in this game that they've had 5 straight batters reach base. So E6 right there for Maury Garrett Jr. That is the 9th error of the season. Here's Josh Kernbauer, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Kernbauer squares to bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes a strike. There is action in the bullpen right now for Calumet. It's like a left-hander throwing down the left field line. And another note on how big it was in game 1 for Mark Cervantes to come out of the bullpen and throw 5 good innings. Bunted foul by Kernbauer, and he's in an 0-2 hole. It looked like after Bubba Davenport lasted only 2 innings in game 1, that Calumet might have to go through a whole string of relievers. They didn't. They ended up using just Cervantes, which leaves the rest of the pen still available here in game 2, and it may be a long day. This is the 9-inning game. And here we are in the second inning, and Everart is already in danger of having to be pulled as Davenport gloves that grounder, steps on third base, and gets the lead runner on a force. So Maffey is out at third base, 5 unassisted on the fielder's choice. Kernbauer is safe at first. Peterson, the pinch runner, is at second base. One out in the inning. Gio Pappas is the 7th batter to come up for the Saints. Pappas takes the ball downstairs, 1-0. Big secondary lead from John Peterson over at second base, but he stays put. Gio Pappas singled and scored back in the first inning. He is 1 for 1. Ball 2 outside. Count is 2-0. So I've talked about it a lot. Everart has continued to fall behind batters, but this second inning, he hasn't had as many opportunities to do so. The Saints have jumped on him a little bit quicker this time around. In the first inning, they waited him out. A lot of long at-bats turned into an over 30-pitch inning. Runners on the move, liner to left, and I think that hit the runner. It hit John Peterson, and so he is out number 2. Peterson hit by the line drive, and an unfortunate break for St. Francis right there because that ball looked like it was going to get through and probably score a run. Instead, Peterson is ruled out on the runner's interference. So Pappas is safe at first. Kernbauer to second. It works like a fielder's choice. And Alex Martinez bats with 2 down and 2 on. 3 runs in here in the second inning for the Fighting Saints, who lead by 8. Back-to-back outs recorded by Maxwell Everart. Now trying to get out of this second inning. Martinez 1 for 1 with a 2-run triple. He takes a strike. He came up in the exact same spot last inning. Runners at first and second, 2 outs. And he was able to triple in 2 more runs. It's on a ball that Sean Moore misplayed out in center field. Here's the 0-1. Tapped foul, 0-2. Been another long inning for Maxwell Everart, but he is 1 strike away from ending it. First 5 men all reached base, one of them on an error. There were 3 hits and a hit batter. The last 2 have both been retired on fielder's choices. One of them was a runner's interference play. The 0-2 up high for a ball, 1-2. If Martinez reaches, Luke Ketchum will bat. If not, we'll move into the bottom of the second. Calumet playing as the home team today. Chasing a lot of runs here. Team that has struggled to score them, but St. Francis is also a team that has struggled to score consistently, and today that has not been a problem. Ball in the dirt, 2-2. The Saints scored 9 in one game last week against Olivet Nazarene. That was a win on Sunday. Other than that, 1 9-run outburst. They had scored, coming into today, 7 runs in their last 4 games. Today they've posted 16 in less than a game and a half, but their scoring is done in the second inning as Martinez takes a strike over the outside corner and goes down looking. The second comes to a close with 2 men on base, but 3 more runs score on 3 hits and an error. We'll go to the bottom of the second, 8-0 St. Francis. Bottom of the second. This game has been all St. Francis so far. About a half hour into the game. Haven't progressed all that far in terms of the number of innings played. Nick Villasenor deals the first pitch at the bottom of the second, misses low and in, ball 1. He's a very quick worker. He likes to move things along, but the offense for St. Francis has spent so much time at the plate. Ground ball past the third baseman Alex Martinez into left field. And Nicholas Anderson is aboard. Anderson came in hitting .366 over 20 games started this season. So it was a bit of a surprise. He struggled quite a bit in game 1, went 0 for 3, saw just 4 total pitches, and did not make solid contact once, but he makes some solid contact here. He is the first base runner of the game for Calumet. Now it's Sergio Olivares foul tipping the first pitch for strike 1. The Fighting Saints have already sent 16 men to the plate in this game. They've scored 8 runs. They've got 7 hits. They've left 2 men on base so far. They have made Maxwell Everart work hard. He's thrown over 50 pitches through his 2 innings. Ball in the dirt, a good stop by Jake Lasota to prevent Anderson from advancing. Ball 1 on Olivares to even the count. St. Francis with a Game 1 win has moved back above 500 in conference play this season. They're 4-3. They had won 3 of their first 4 as this one is flown out to left field towards the line. Tumulty moves over into foul territory. He makes the grab. 1 out. Anderson back to first base. I think that's a ball that was likely ticketed for the seats had it not been for the wind. The wind is blowing hard from left to right now, and any ball hit in that direction is being pushed back towards the field. That's what happened right there. 1 away. Here's Bubba Davenport. Line shot into center field. A hit for Davenport in the first pitch of the at-bat. Second hit of the inning for Calumet. Anderson moves up to second base. Davenport is at first. A very active day for Bubba Davenport. Started on the mound in Game 1. He was the losing pitcher. Starting at third base here in Game 2. And he's a winning batter, at least in that at-bat. 1 for 1 now with a single. 2 on, 1 out. Here's Idan Ortiz. Third baseman in Game 1, the designated hitter here in Game 2. He takes a strike. Ortiz took the collar in the opener, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He swings and misses here, and he's behind in the count, 0-2. Getting 184 for the season coming in. All 7 of his hits have gone for singles. You wouldn't mind one of those right here with a runner in scoring position. It could score a run. Strike 3 called. He goes down looking, 2 down. Frozen on the fastball. And that's the second strikeout of the game for Nick Villasenor, the senior left-hander who now will face Cody Wilkins with 2 on and 2 out and a chance to end another scoreless inning. Wilkins checks his swing. He takes a strike. It's in the zone. 0-1. Wilkins, Wilkens. Junior infielder from Griffith, Indiana. Swings and misses. It's 0-2. 2 of the first 3 batters this inning reached on singles, but Villasenor struck out Ortiz on 3 pitches and is now ahead of Wilkins 0-2, trying to finish off the second. The southpaw sets for the next delivery. Foul tipped, and Wilkins just barely stays alive. Garrett bats next if Wilkins reaches. He takes a ball low and away, 1-2. Cody Wilkins in Game 1 went 1 for 2 with a single. He had the first hit of the game for Calumet in the 3rd inning. This time he chases a breaking ball low and in for strike 3, and the inning is over. Back-to-back strikeouts for Nick Villasenor, who's been sharp through 2. Calumet leaves 2 men on base. We've played 2 full innings, 8-0. Saints lead. Top of the 3rd inning. On a now very wet day. The rain has just started to fall between innings. Looks looks like some sleet as well. 8-0, St. Francis leads Calumet. It's been a weird weather day. It was dark and drizzly all morning. Now finally the sun came out just about an hour ago, and as soon as the sun comes out, now the rain returns. There's still a lot of sun around us. I don't think this is going to last a long time. As Luke Ketchum swings at the first pitch in the third, pops it into foul territory, drifting back towards the field, and it drops for a foul ball and strike one. That one was hit to the left side. I've been talking about the wind a lot, blowing hard from left to right, and any ball hit to left field has been drifting back towards the field of play. And that's what happened right there. Luke Ketchum's pop-up looked like off the bat it was going to sail into the seats down the left field line. The third baseman, Bubba Davenport, chased it over in front of the seats, and then it went all the way back towards the foul line. Fortunately for Calumet, the shortstop, Maury Garrett, was right there, but he missed it as well. He was in position, just couldn't catch it. So it goes to strike one. Ketchum swings to the next pitch, grounds it into fair territory to the left side. Davenport this time gloves it and throws over to first base for the first out. So the leadoff man is retired for the second time in 3 innings by Maxwell Everart, who will now face Sam Tumulty as the rain already begins to slow down. Tumulty is 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored. He pops the first pitch backwards on a play, strike one. The sudden thrust of rain here is not a welcome sight, I don't think, to Maxwell Everart, who has been struggling quite a lot with his control early in the game. The wet baseball you wouldn't think would be helpful towards that, as he misses here for ball one, evening the count. There's a high fly, left side, foul ground. They chase this one into foul territory, and it'll be the left fielder Nicholas Anderson making the catch. 2 down. So that time not fooled by the wind at all. Davenport chased it back as well, but it was deep enough that very obviously it became Nicholas Anderson's ball. The left fielder made the grab just a few feet wide of the line. 2 up, 2 down in the third, and back to the top of the order. And Noah Carraro here. 8-0 St. Francis in this third inning. Carraro is 0 for 2, or 0 for 1 rather. He was hit by a pitch and scored his last time up. He takes a ball that sails to the backstop, 1-0. This would be by far Maxwell Everart's quickest inning if he's able to get this out. But he recorded 2 quick outs in the first inning as well. They weren't necessarily quick, they were long at bats, but he retired the first 2 batters of the inning. And then 5 in a row reached after that, and the Saints ended up scoring 5 runs. 2-0 on Carraro. Everart's next toss is swung on and missed. It's 2-1. Sunny skies are starting to return overhead. Still a light rain falling. It's the 2-1. Misses outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. John McGuire's on deck. Just 1 walk so far in the game for Maxwell Everart. But he has hit 2 batters, thrown a costly wild pitch, and now he's walked his second. Carraro is aboard, a 2-out walk, and that is the last thing that Everart wanted to do right there. That's exactly the same circumstances of his first walk. 2 outs, nobody on. That's what started that 5-run rally. 2-out free pass to Eric Maffey, who stands on deck right now as John McGuire digs in. Runner goes. McGuire takes the strike. No throw. 0-1 on McGuire, but Carraro steals second. That's the 3rd stolen base of the game for St. Francis. They're having no problem running on Olivares right now. There's a ball high. The count goes to 1-1. Runner in scoring position here. Saints looking to add to an 8-run lead. Called strike 2. And they're down to their final strike of the inning. Everett takes a breath, trying to get out of this third inning unscathed. It would be the first time today he's able to do so. 1-2 pitch with the runner again on the move. Swung on and missed, strike three, and the inning is over. Second strikeout of the game for Maxwell Everett. He's ended each of the last 2 innings that way, and the Saints, for the first time today, are held off the scoreboard. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning. 8-0, St. Francis. Eight nothing. St. Francis leads Calumet College of St. Joseph. Bottom of the third inning. Calumet playing as the home team in today's doubleheader. They dropped the opener 8-1, now behind even bigger early in this game, but they ride a little momentum into this third inning as Maxwell Everett was able to pitch a scoreless top half of the frame. 9-1-2 due up for the Crimson Wave here in the bottom of the third. See if they can get on the board for the first time today as Maury Garrett takes ball one high. Garrett sitting 191 for the season. Went 1 for 3 with a single in game one. He pops this ball fouling out of play, and that evens the count. It's some weird weather today. In between the second and third innings, the skies opened up. A little pop-up rainstorm, which featured some sleet as well. Strike called on Garrett, 1-2. And that appears to be gone. It seems as though the rain has stopped entirely. The sun is starting to poke through again. Strike three called. Garrett goes down looking, and going back to last inning, that's now 3 consecutive strikeouts for Nick Villasenor. He's recorded 7 outs against the first 9 batters he's faced. And Gabriel Quinones will come up with 1 out and nobody on base. Quinones is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. Went 2 for 3 with a triple in game 1, so he can handle the bat. He takes strike 1 here. He drives this ball down the right field line. That's a foul ball. Just fouled by a foot or 2. Quinones robbed of extra bases. That one was ticketed for the right field corner. And Gio Pappas had a long way to go to play it, so that could have been serious trouble for the Fighting Saints. Instead, it's trouble for Calumet because it's an 0-2 count on their leadoff batter. Quinones takes the ball outside, 1-2. Quickly back to it. Villasenor misses the outside corner again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Saints have a big early lead here. Villasenor trying to make it stick so far. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Nick Villasenor, who came into play today with just 6 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings for the season. In fact, he had 7 strikeouts through his first 22 innings this season because he had just 1 through the first inning and 2/3. But now all of a sudden, 4 in a row. 5 total for the game as Moore jumps on the first pitch, lines it into center field for a hit. That's a 2-out single for Sean Moore. He's got his first hit of the ball game, and he denies Villasenor's bid for a 1-2-3 third inning. So good speed at first base, a good hitter in the box. Michael Matchnick bats for the second time today. He takes strike one. Struck out swinging in the first inning after going 1 for 3 in game 1 this afternoon. There's a high strike, and Villasenor is ahead in the count, 0-2. 1 strike away from ending the inning. Sean Moore snapped his string of 4 consecutive strikeouts. Now he's trying to start a new one, the 0-2. Moore fists it foul to the left side and out of play. Still 0-2. Next one misses low and outside for ball 1. 3 hits in the game now for Calumet after that Sean Moore 2-out single. All 3 hits have gone for 1 base. There's a fly ball into right field. Well struck. Pappas back on the run. He reaches up and can't get to it. Over his head, the ball bounces to the warning track. Sean Moore comes in to score. It's a double for Michael Matchnick, and Calumet is on the board. They get their first run of the game and tighten this one up to 8-1 on back-to-back 2-out hits. 2-out hitting has been the order of the day in this game. First run for Calumet comes with 2 outs and the bases empty. They're able to spark a rally that way. For St. Francis, 5 of their 8 runs have come with 2 outs. Now it's Nicholas Anderson, who's already got 1 hit today, taking ball 1 low. That was not only with 2 outs, it was with 2 strikes on Matchnick. Villasenor had him at 0-2 at one point. Now another man in scoring position, 1-0 on Anderson. He taps it foul, 1-1. Calumet took the loss in game 1 of the doubleheader and fell to 2-5 in conference play. Both of these teams were swept in a doubleheader last week by St. Xavier. 2 separate doubleheaders, obviously. Ground ball to the shortstop. Picked up by Carraro. Long throw to first is in time, and the inning is over. A run scores for Calumet on back-to-back 2-out strikes from Moore and Matchnick. We've played 3 full innings, and Calumet has gotten on the board, but they still trail big. St. Francis on top, 8-1. It's a big lead for St. Francis, a third of the way through this game, 8-1. They are on top. 3, 4, and 5 to come to the plate here in the 4th against Maxwell Everart. Everart shaky in the first 2 innings, looked good in the 3rd. See if he can put a second straight 0 on the board as Eric Maffey swings through the first pitch for strike 1. Maffey is 1 for 1, a walk, a double, A run scored, 3 RBIs. He's also got a stolen base. So he has really filled the stat sheet early on today. He takes the ball in the dirt. 1-1. It's Maffey, Lasota, and Kernbauer due to each get their third at-bats of the game against Everart. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Six of the last 7 batters have been retired by Everart. 2 of them on strikeouts. Calumet had a pitcher warming up in the bullpen down the left field line back in the second inning, but it's been empty for a while now. Brian Nowakowski showing some faith in his junior pitcher here, as Everart has settled in nicely. 1-2 now on Maffey, trying to get the leadoff man for the third time today. He misses outside. 2-2. A lot of long at-bats against Everart. You've got to think he's not going to last too deep into this game, no matter how much he has settled down. Maffey fouls it back, still 2-2. Pitch count is already up over 70 for the game. And he does not yet have an out recorded in the 4th inning, so he'd have to really pick up his efficiency as well as his success rate if he wants to go deep into this one. Hard grounder, right side, and out of the reach of the second baseman, Cody Wilkins. Maffey around first, heads for second as Moore has trouble with the ball out in right center field. Maffey goes to third base, and he makes it in standing up. Just a hot hit off the bat of Maffey. It was just about a foot or so away from Wilkins being able to play it at second base. But it ended up rolling straight past Moore. Sean Moore's having a lot of problems out in center field. Just has not gotten a lot of good reads on balls. And that time it scooted right past him, and instead of him having cut the ball off, that allowed Maffey to get to second base. Lasota takes the first pitch strike. And then after that, Moore had trouble playing the ball carom off the wall, and that turned it into 3 bases for Maffey. Lasota hits a grounder to the third base side foul. 0-2. So what was nearly a ground out came a 1 base hit. When Wilkins couldn't quite reach it, it became 2 bases when Moore took a rough angle at it, and it became 3 bases when Moore couldn't play it cleanly off the wall. So Maffey on base for the 3rd time today. Infield in at all 4 positions. Lasota takes the ball in the dirt. 1-2. Jake Lasota reached on an error his last time up. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI single. He can pick up an RBI right here, looking to lift the ball. He does just that into right field. Playable for Quinones, but deep enough to score Maffey from third. And that is a sacrifice fly for Jake Lasota. It's 9-1. Calumet gets on the scoreboard. St. Francis gets it right back. So the lead is again 8 runs. Josh Kernbauer bats with 1 out and the base is empty. He fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Kernbauer's 0 for 1 today, but he's been on base twice. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second inning. He was hit by a pitch and scored a run in the first. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Two strikeouts so far in the game for Everart. Looking for number 3 on the 0-2 pitch to the designated hitter, Kernbauer. This is high, ball 1. 1-2. Up and in. Kernbauer checks his swing. The count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gio Pappas waits on deck. If anybody else reaches this inning, we'll see Alex Martinez. St. Francis has added a run to their lead. They were up 8-0. Calumet made it 8-1. Now it's 9-1. Soft liner right side and just high enough to be out of the reach of Cody Wilkins. It lands in right field, and Josh Kernbauer has his first hit of the game. Number 9 overall for St. Francis. And he comes back from 0-2 down in the count to wrap a single into right. Here's Gio Pappas. 2 for 2 officially in the game. He singled and scored in the first. Reached on a runner's interference play in the second inning. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Pappas, the starting right fielder in today's game, a junior. Transferred in from Morton College. He takes a ball outside. 1-1. Pappas has shown some good power early in the season. He's got 3 home runs already in just 47 at-bats. Today, he's improving his batting average with a couple of hits so far. There's a called strike, 1-2. Pappas went 1 for 3 in game 1. And despite a 1 for 3 line, which is pretty good in itself, but it was better than that actually. I mean, he reached base 3 times, even though he only had the 1 hit. So he's been on base 5 times in 6 trips to the plate in the doubleheader. Swing and a miss, strike 3, 2 down. Everart's got 1 strikeout in each of the last 2 innings. Or each of the last 3 innings, I should say. So 3 total for the game. And it's up to Alex Martinez to try to keep this inning alive. Martinez struck out looking back in the second. First strikeout of the game for Everart. He's 1 for 2 with a 2-run triple as well. He takes strike 1. Maxwell Everart has had a tough go today, but still out there trying to get through this 4th inning. With a runner at first base and 2 down, he misses outside for a ball. It's 1-1 on Martinez. Martinez, the right-handed hitting third baseman, stands in and awaits the 1-1. It's in the dirt, ball 2. Everart's big problem early in the game was falling behind everybody. Has not been so much of a problem of late. In fact, he's thrown strike 1 on the first pitch to all 5 hitters this inning. But putting them away has still not been easy. The Saints are making him work. The 2-1 pitch. Inside, ball 3. Kernbauer's the man at first base. He singled with 1 out, still stuck over at first base for the moment with 2 down in the inning. Luke Ketchum is on deck. It's 3-1 on Alex Martinez. Everart from the stretch delivers a foul ball off to the right side, hit by Martinez, 3-2. Kernbauer was running with that last pitch. He'll be running with this pitch as well, undoubtedly. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. He'll take off a little bit early as Martinez tries to poke one down the line or into one of the gaps and bring him home from first base. Top of the 4th inning. We're still relatively early in this game. It's been all St. Francis up to this point. Trying to add even more to their lead with a runner on and 2 outs. Everart takes a quick glance over his shoulder to the runner. Now the 3-2. Low and outside, ball 4. Martinez draws the walk. It's number 3 of the game, given out by Everart. go along with 2 hit batters. And there are 2 on with 2 out for Luke Ketchum. Ketchum is 0 for 2. He's lined out hard to third and grounded out to third as well. This time he tries to go the other way with it, but he pushes it foul to the right side. Strike 1. Another lengthy inning for Maxwell Everhart, who had thrown 68 pitches through the first 3 innings. This will be number 27 here in the 4th. Tapper foul by Ketchum. It's 0-2. He's 1 strike away from getting out of it. 1 run is in this inning. Eric Maffey tripled and came home on the Jake Lasota sac fly. Those were the first 2 batters of the inning. Everhart's been able to keep him off the scoreboard since. Trying to complete that effect right here. 0-2 on Ketchum. Ketchum hits it in the air out to center field. That sends Sean Moore backpedaling. Moore is under it. He makes the catch and ends the inning. So a lengthy inning for Everhart, but he manages to give up just the 1 run on a couple of hits. So walk, 2 left on base. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, it's 9-1, St. Francis. It's the bottom of the 4th inning. Calumet coming up to bat, trailing by 8. Olivares, Davenport, and Ortiz are due up against Nick Villasenor. First pitch swinging, Olivares skies it into shallow left. Carraro backs up. Tumulty calls him off. The left fielder coming in, puts it away for out number 1. Nice start to this inning for Villasenor. On 1 pitch, he has the first out. Olivares has flown to left twice now. That brings up Bubba Davenport.
Third baseman, number 41, Bubba Davenport.
Davenport is 1 for 1. He singled in the 2nd inning, but was stranded at first base. So he takes ball 1 outside. Contact on the next pitch. A ground ball to third. Diving stop Martinez. Throws from his knees, and he can't complete the throw. So Davenport is aboard an infield single. Great effort by Alex Martinez, but just not able to get it there accurately from his knees. It would have been tough for him as he had to lay out fully down that third base line to get to his feet and throw over to first base. But with Davenport running, not the speediest guy on the team, he did maybe have a chance to make the play that way. As it was, an accurate throw would have had Davenport, but again, it's a tough throw to make accurately from your knees. So Davenport has the infield hit. He is 2 for 2 in the ball game, and Calumet's got a runner on base with Ortiz in the box. Idan Ortiz is 0 for 1 with a strikeout today. 1 of 5 so far in the game for Nick Villasenor. Another throw to first base to check on Davenport. Bubba Davenport so far this season Does not have a stolen base nor an attempt. Strike called on Ortiz, 0-1. Ortiz struck out in his last at-bat. He was the first of 4 consecutive Crimson Wave hitters to go down on strikes. Villasenor's 0-1. Popped up, foul to the right side, out of play. 0-2. This next pitch will be the 50th of the game for Nick Villasenor, which I mentioned more than anything else just for comparison's sake. There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Runner goes and the throw down to second is not in time. So Davenport is able to take second. But Ortiz goes down on strikes. 2 down in the inning. And Cody Wilkins is the batter. Not sure if that'll go as a stolen base or
Second baseman number 5, Cody Wilkins.
if it is a pass ball or a wild pitch. I guess it could be any one of the 3. Davenport did take off a little bit late as it's fouled off to the right side by Cody Wilkins for strike 1. Wilkins is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Villasenor now just over 50 pitches. Maxwell Everart has already thrown just about 100 for the game. The 0-1. Called strike 2. Villasenor 1 strike away from ending the inning. The 0-2 pitch, up high, ball 1. Villasenor put up a scoreless first and second. Calumet was able to break through with a run on back-to-back 2-out hits in the 3rd. And now St. Francis trying to get another goose egg up on the scoreboard for the bottom of the 4th inning after they just scored to once again extend their lead to 8. 1-2 on Cody Wilkins. Foul tipped, he just barely stays alive. Got a tiny piece of that one, just enough to keep Jake Lasota from catching it. Wilkins will get to see at least one more pitch. That pitch is outside. It misses the corner. Ball 2. The count is even. Davenport is over at second base. He reached on an infield single earlier in the inning. Now 2-2 on Wilkins. Fouled away. Good at bat here for Wilkins. Garrett waits on deck. Villasenor trying not to face him this inning. This is the 7th pitch of the at-bat, and he'll throw an 8th. Another 2-strike foul ball from Cody Wilkins. Davenport over at second base, trying to come around as Calumet looks for their 2nd consecutive inning with a 2-out run. Trying to get back into this game, still a long way to go. Fouled away again by Wilkins. The game is certainly not over yet. It has been completely controlled by St. Francis up to this point, but Calumet's got a lot of outs still to play with. They're not yet halfway through this game. So they've got plenty of time to chip away if they can get a run or 2 per inning. Ground ball down the third base line, that's foul. And that is his 5th 2-strike foul ball in this at-bat. Wilkins, who struck out swinging his last time up, not going on quite so easily this time around. He is making Villasenor work. This is the 10th pitch of the at-bat. And we'll see an 11th after another 2-strike foul ball. Wilkins trying to give hope to his dugout right now. They fell behind so quickly by so many runs. They're looking for a spark anywhere they can get it, and it won't be supplied by Wilkins as he watches one go by at the knees for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts and the 4th inning for Nick Villasenor. And Bubba Davenport is stranded at second base. Great fight by Wilkins, but on the 11th pitch, he is rung up. And we'll go to the 5th inning, 9-1. St. Francis has the lead.
Leading off the St. Francis 5th inning, the left fielder number.
We are into the 5th inning. Big lead for St. Francis, 9-1 over Cal St. Joe's. Sam Tumulty, the freshman outfielder, leads things off for the Fighting Saints and takes ball 1 low and in from a new Calumet pitcher. Zachary Costello comes on as Maxwell Everart's day is done. 4 innings for Everart. He allowed all 9 runs on 9 hits as that ball is grounded to third base, scooped up by Bubba Davenport. The throw to first, close play, not in time. Sam Tumulty legs out an infield single on what looked like a routine ground out. Davenport took his time getting it over to first base, and I think he's learned his lesson. You can't do that with Tumulty running down the line. He was hustling the whole way. Made it a very close play, so close in fact that he beat the throw. He's 2 for 3 now, couple of singles. Here's Noah Carraro. He has no hits today, but he's been on base twice and scored a run. He bunts here, pops it up third base side and fouls. Strike 1. Costello is the new pitcher for Calumet, appearing for the 5th time this year, his 4th as reliever. No record, an ERA of 9. He's pitched 8 innings. He's allowed 8 runs on 12 hits with 8 strikeouts and 4 walks. Costello's got a very interesting motion to the plate. Has to slow things down, or speed things up, I should say, with a runner on base here, especially the way that the Saints have been moving along the base paths. A whole bunch of steals in these 2 games. Carraro grounds it to third. Davenport quickly over to second for 1. The relay throw from Wilkins gets away from first base, and so Carraro is safe. It'll go as a 5-4 fielder's choice. Tumulty is retired, and Carraro is aboard with 1 out.
Second baseman number 13, John McGuire.
Here's John McGuire. 1 for 3 with a bunt single and a run. His single came on a sacrifice attempt. He popped it up down the third base line. Davenport tried to make a diving catch, and he came up just short, so McGuire reached on a hit. Since then, he struck out, and now he bats again. McGuire flies it into left center field. That ball into the gap, and it drops between Sean Moore and Nicholas Anderson. McGuire heads to second base with Carraro chugging for third. They both make it in safely, and it's a double for McGuire. Good hustle but by those 2 base runners, and a good read by Carraro as he saw that ball was going to fall. Never slowed down, went straight into third base. McGuire has his second hit of the game. One out, and Eric Maffey is the hitter. The rain has stopped. A rainbow visible now behind the left center field fence. It's still raining on Calumet, though. Maffey flies it into deep right field, sending Quinones back to the warning track, and it's off the wall. That ball just missed leaving the yard. As it is, an extra base hit for Maffey. As 2 more runs score, it's 11-1 St. Francis. And what a game today for Eric Maffey. Maffey now in 4 trips to the plate has 2 doubles, a triple, 4 RBIs, and a pair of runs scored. He's also stolen a base, if you're into that sort of thing. He is just having a whopper of a game today. Maffey's got 14 RBIs for the season. Jake Lesota swings the first pitch and lifts it into right. Going into foul territory, Quinones shields his eyes from the sun and makes the catch. Maffey tags from second and heads to third base. 2 outs now. And the batter is Josh Kernbauer. Good base running by Maffey there. He's done a little bit of everything today. I think I give him credit for 4 RBIs in today's game, but he's got 5. If I said 5 the first time, then I withdraw my retraction. Or retract my retraction. Ball outside, 1-0 on Josh Kernbauer. Kernbauer got a hit his last time up. He's been on base 3 times today. Officially 1 for 2. Fouled away, 1-1. 10-run lead for St. Francis. This is their biggest. They were up 8-0, and then they were up 9-1, so they had twice led by as many as 8 runs. But now they've pulled ahead 11-1. Eric Maffey's got almost half the RBIs. In fact, he has been responsible for more than half the runs. 5 RBIs, 2 runs scored, so he's been involved in 7 of the 11. Kernbauer fouls it away. The count is 1-2. Base hit here from Kernbauer. And Maffey will have been involved in 8 different runs in this game. But Costello is 1 strike from putting him away. Kernbauer fouls it off, still 1-2. Costello's a senior from Venezuela, or sophomore rather, from Venezuela. No, that's wrong too. He's from Seneca, Illinois. Sergio Olivares, who's 1 line ahead of him on the roster, is from Venezuela. That I knew. It is not an all Venezuelan battery, though. Ball outside, 2-2. Costello from Seneca transferred over here from St. Xavier, where he spent his freshman year. 6th pitch of the at-bat. Misses outside. The count goes full. He's got that weird delivery. Seems to work for him. He's got a hitch in it when he first kicks the leg up, and then he holds his position for a split second with the ball held high over his head. And he misses the strike zone again on Kernbauer. It's a walk. Kernbauer comes back. He was down in the count 1-2. He ends up drawing the free pass and puts runners at the corners with 2 down. Gio Pappas is the 7th batter of the inning. Pappas is 2 for 3. He struck out his last time up, but he has scored a run in the game. Now looking for an RBI or 2. Swings and misses at the first one, way out in front of the off-speed pitch. Big cut from Pappas there. 3 hits plus a walk this inning for the St. Francis offense. So a new pitcher, but they have not slowed down the attack at all. The 0-1 hits the inside corner, 0-2. Remember back in game 1, Saints jumped on the starter, but once he departed, they couldn't get anything going against the defense. Mark Cervantes was brilliant over 5 innings. Here in this game, they hit the starter. Now they're hitting the reliever as well. The 0-2 pitch. Pappas strikes out swinging, and the inning is over. Saints leave a pair, but they also score a pair, thanks to the 2-run double by Eric Maffey. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Our score is St. Francis 11, Cal St. Joe's 1.
Calumet St. Joseph, 5th inning. The shortstop, number 6, Corey Garrett Jr.
Bottom of the order here, the number 9 batter leads off the bottom of the 5th for Calumet. Maury Garrett Jr., who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, swings at the first pitch from Nick Villasenor, lines it into left, and Tumulty makes a nice running grab for the first out of the 5th inning. We're off and running here in the bottom of the 5th with St. Francis ahead 11-1. Nick Villasenor has now retired the leadoff batter in 4 out of 5 innings. We're back to the top of the order here, and Gabriel Quinones. Quinones is 0 for 2 against Villasenor with a ground out and a strikeout. He takes ball 1 low and away. Saints have scored in all but 1 inning today. 5 runs in the first, 3 in the second, none in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. Ball 2 downstairs. So they've got the pyramid going, or the reverse pyramid, I guess. They started with 5 runs in the first inning, got a little bit less in the next 2 innings, and now they're on their way up again. 5-3-0-1-2. Called strike. And the count is 2-1. That's if you like looking for patterns on the scoreboard. Calumet St. Joe's has 1 run. It came in the bottom of the 3rd. Swing and a miss, 2-2. And it came as a result of the next 2 guys up. Sean Moore singled and Mike Matchnick doubled him in. Moore is on deck right now. Ball 3 outside. Full count. Villasenor has not walked anybody today. This is the first time he's gone to 3 balls on any hitter. It's bounced down the first base line. Foul. Still 3-2. Good fight for Gabriel Quinones here. We saw Wilkins end the last inning when he struck out looking on the 11th pitch of the at-bat. So these Crimson Wave hitters are making Villasenor work, but ultimately he's getting the best of them. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And there is strikeout number 8 today. He's more than doubled his season total.
Number 2, Sean Moore.
Here's Sean Moore. Two outs, nobody on base. Moore is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. He takes a breaking ball over the inside corner for strike 1. It's a wet and chilly Friday afternoon. Not as cold as it's going to be this weekend, though. Ball 1 on Moore, 1-1. These two teams have flip-flopped the sequence. It was supposed to be a single game today and then a weekend doubleheader. It'll be the other way around instead. Ball outside, 2-1 on Moore. It's really not that cold today. few degrees below average, but for the season it's not bad. Ground ball to the left side and through for a base hit. Sean Moore reaches again. Second hit of the game for Moore. Both of them have come as 2-out singles. Last time the 2-out base hit led to a run. See if Matchnick can drive him in again right here. The rain that we had today, though, certainly has made things a little bit colder. The sun has once again disappeared behind the clouds. Michael Matchnick, 1 for 2 in the game, takes strike one. And that wind is not helping weather conditions either. Ball inside, 1-1 on Matchnick, who struck out in the first inning, had the RBI double in the third. That was his 7th double of the season, which is the second most on the team. And his 22nd RBI, which is the most on the team. 2-1 on Matchnick. Villasenor sets and delivers. A strike over the outside corner. That evens the count. Nick Villasenor trying to finish up his 5th inning of work here with a big lead. Lefty versus lefty. Jake Lasota drops down the signs. Villasenor sets and deals. Swung on and missed. He chased one in the dirt. Strikeout number 9 for Nick Villasenor. And he pitches around the 2-out single from Sean Moore to put another 0 on the scoreboard. We've played 5. Our score is St. Francis 11, Cal St. Joe's 1. All ones on the scoreboard right now. 11 runs for St. Francis, 1 for Calumet. And the Saints look to add a few more to their lead with Alex Martinez standing in, leading off the 6th inning against Zachary Costello. Costello's first pitch is ripped down the left field line, just foul. Strike 1 on Martinez. Looked like extra bases off of his bat that time, but it was foul by inches. And 0-1 now on the leadoff man here in the 6th inning. It's Martinez, Ketchum, and Tumulty due up. Alex Martinez has had a good game at the plate, 1 for 2, with a triple and a walk, a run, and 2 RBIs. Strike called, 0-2. Costello is in his 2nd inning of work. He came out of the bullpen for the 5th and gave up 2 runs. Now looking to put his first 0 up on the board. His 0-2 offering. Ball 1 high. Talking about that weird delivery he's got in his last inning. He kind of holds the ball back at the top of his delivery. Like he's posing for a picture. And then he makes his way forward. He misses high for ball 2. Mentioned last inning that with runners on base he'd have to speed it up a little bit, but he really doesn't very much. Which makes him a fairly easy pitcher to run on, I would think, especially considering the struggles that these Crimson Wave catchers have had throwing out base runners this year. 2-2. Inside, and it hit him. So he got ahead of Martinez 0-2. He ends up losing him and hitting him with the 2-2 pitch. And the leadoff man reaches once again. Third straight inning that's been the case for St. Francis. Here's Luke Ketchum. Ketchum was the only man not to reach base in game 1. He's the only man not to reach base in game 2 as well. So he would like very much to get a base hit right here. He's hit the ball hard in this game. He's just run into some bad luck. Up high, ball 1. I wonder about Costello with that delivery, and anybody who's got an odd delivery like that or an odd batting stance. You can understand that if it works for them, they'll keep doing it. But I always wonder what the impetus was to start it the first time. You're just messing around maybe, and you hold the ball back for an extra half second and you decide it just feels comfortable. I don't know. He speeds it up a little bit with a guy on base. Just not much. Ketchum swings and misses. The count is 1-1. Eleven runs, 12 hits for St. Francis. 1 run on 6 hits for Calumet. Saints have multiple hits in 4 of the first 5 innings. The only one in which they didn't was the third, which is also the only inning they didn't score. They did have 1 base runner that frame. That was on a walk, so no hits. But after it looked like Maxwell Everhart was starting to settle in, they jumped on him again in the 4th. They jumped on Costello in the 5th. Ketchum hits it hard through the hole on the left side. There's a base hit. So he's been swinging the bat well throughout this one, but now he's got something positive to show for it. A single here in the 6th inning. That advances Martinez to second base. 2 on with nobody out for Sam Tumulty. Nobody warming up in either bullpen right now. Tumulty is 2 for 3 with a couple of singles and a run scored. He grounds it foul past third base, strike 1. So far in this doubleheader, we are 12 innings into it. St. Francis has only used 2 pitchers. Sandoval went the distance for the game 1 win. And Villasenor has been the only man on the mound through the first 5 innings here in game 2. Calumet hasn't dipped too deep into their bullpen. Strike called 0-2. They've used only 1 reliever in each of the 2 games. Mark Cervantes went 5 innings in game 1. And after the starting pitcher, Maxwell Everhart, pitched 4 today. This is the 2nd inning for Zachary Costello here in game 2. Swing and a miss. Tumulty goes down on strikes. 1 away. Here's Noah Carraro. No hits in the game, but he's been on base 3 times. He's stolen a bag, and he's scored twice. He's got a walk and a hit by pitch. And now he bats with 2 on and 1 out. Already a 10-run lead for St. Francis. Carraro grounds it foul to the third base side. Strike 1. Alex Martinez was hit by a pitch to begin the inning. Luke Ketchum followed it up with a single to the left side. Ketchum, by the way, mentioned before he was the only one who hadn't reached base. He came in leading the team in hitting. It was only a matter of time before he came around. Average close to 300. Awkward swing and a miss there from Carraro. It's 0-2. St. Francis as a team entered play today with a 253 batting average. They had nobody hitting as high as 300, but a whole bunch of guys in the vicinity. Ketchum was at 294, Carraro 290. Jake Vera, 288. Jake Lasota, 286. Several of those guys have had really good days, so I don't know how close they have reached to 300 now, but a little bit closer than they were. Fouled away. Still 0-2. John McGuire is on deck. He's having a big day at the plate as well. So the Saints are in pretty good shape as they try to add even more to their lead. It is 0-2, however, on Noah Carraro. Here's the pitch from Costello. Strike 3 called, 2 down. Back-to-back strikeouts for Zachary Costello. He's got 3 strikeouts now in an inning and 2/3. Costello entering play today had struck out 8 through 8 innings, so a pretty decent strikeout pitcher. And it has showed so far in this appearance as John McGuire becomes the Fighting Saints' last hope for any 6th inning offense. McGuire swings at the first pitch and fouls it off for strike 1. There were 2 men on with nobody out. Now there are 2 on with 2 outs. McGuire's 2 for 4 in this game. He's got 4 hits combined in the doubleheader. Here's Costello's 0-1. Hard grounder past the diving Davenport and into left field. Martinez comes around third base and scores without a play. An RBI single for John McGuire, 12-1. John McGuire's got his 5th hit of the twin bill, his 3rd hit of the game. He's driven in 2 runs now overall in the doubleheader. Ketchum is up to second base on the McGuire single. So it's still first and second with 2 outs. And the batter now is Eric Maffey, who's having a monster game too. He has not been retired yet in this one. He's got 5 RBIs. He takes a ball outside. For McGuire, RBI number 8 this season. Maffey, including 1 in game 1, has a team leading 15 of them for the season. 1-0. Inside, ball 2. Three hits in this game for Maffey. They've all gone for extra bases. An extra base hit here would almost certainly plate 2 more runs. 2-0. Ground ball, and that's a base hit in a left. Here comes Ketchum around third base, and the slight bobble by Nicholas Anderson, the left fielder, makes Ketchum have no problem scoring. It's an RBI single for Maffey, his 6th run batted in this game. St. Francis leads 13-0, so it wasn't another extra base hit. It wasn't a pair of RBIs, but it was good enough. McGuire up to second base, still 2 on base with 2 outs, as has been the case for much of this inning now. And Jake Lasota will be pinch hit for. We're going to see Marshall McDonald, the backup catcher, getting at bat here. Transferred over from Joliet Junior College. McDonald bats for the 12th time this year. He's 3 for 11 so far on the season. Two on, 2 out. 13-1. St. Francis leads. First pitch to the right-handed hitting McDonald. Breaks off the outside corner. It's 1-0. Good game for Jake Lasota. Had a couple of RBIs, but it's McDonald now. Trying to pick 1 or 2 up himself with 2 men on base. He checks his swing and he takes ball 2. Marshall McDonald has not driven a run in yet this year, but as I said before, he has had some success at the plate. 3 hits and 11 at-bats. He's trying to work his way on base here as he takes ball 3 outside. He's also walked 5 times this year. Good for a .500 on base percentage. He's reached an 8 of 16 times up. And he draws a 4-pitch walk here. Bases are loaded. McGuire advances to third. Maffey on up to second. And Marshall McDonald will not be the runner at first. They'll send in the courtesy runner for him. It's John Peterson, who's been running in this spot all game for Lesota.
Designated hitter number 12, Josh Kernbauer.
Second walk issued by Zachary Costello in the game. He's also hit a batter, so he has not had much more success so far than his predecessor, Everart. And now Josh Kernbauer bats with the bases loaded. 3 straight have reached with 2 outs. Ball 1 outside. 5 straight misses of the strike zone from Costello. One ball, no strikes. Kernbauer drives it out to left field, but right at Anderson, who makes the grab and retires the side. So St. Francis leaves them loaded, but they score 2 more runs on 3 more hits. And at the end of 5.5, our score is Saints 13, Calumet 1. In the bottom of the 6th inning, it's a 13-1 St. Francis lead. Calumet has gone to their bench here as Nick Villasenor comes out for his 6th inning of work. And his first pitch is swung on and missed for strike 1 by Christopher Pantaleon, the backup outfielder from the Dominican Republic. Sophomore actually came in to play defense, I believe, last inning, so I had that wrong when I called that Anderson in left field. But Pantaleon, who came on as a pinch hitter once in game 1 as well, gets his 2nd at bat of the game, or the day, I should say. High pop up, foul ground right side. Maffey moves over on it and makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down in the 6th. So Pantaleon pops out, and now we'll get another new batter. Austin Velasquez is coming up. Looks like mostly subs coming up from here on out for Calumet as we are in the latter innings now. Velasquez checks the swing. He may have gone around. It was in the zone anyway. Strike 1. Velasquez is 1 for 3 so far this year, getting his 4th at bat. And his 2nd hit as he lines it straight up the middle. A base hit to center for Velasquez. One out base runner for Calumet. 7th hit of the game for the Crimson Wave. Aside from the first inning, in which Villasenor set them down in order, they've had at least one hit in every inning. Joseph Castillo comes on as a pinch runner at first base. Velasquez, I believe, is going to be the catcher from here on out. And the new batter is Bubba Davenport. So Davenport hits for himself. Seen a couple of subs come up so far this inning, but Davenport stays in. He's been active today as he takes strike one. He's 2 for 2 in this game with a couple of hits. Started on the mound in game 1 and lasted 2 innings, took the loss. Davenport fouls this one to the right side, 0-2. Another reserve on deck. Frankie Trevino has taken his cuts. So he will apparently pinch hit for Ortiz after the Davenport at bat. 0-2 on Davenport. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout for Nick Villasenor. It has been an impressive day for him on the mound. Not a strikeout pitcher typically. He entered today's game with just 6 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings. In this game, he's got at least 1 in every inning. And he's got number 10 now for the day. He's had at least 2 in 4 out of 6 innings. And still a chance to make it 5 out of 6 if he can get Trevino right here. Another pinch hitter, Frankie Trevino, batting for the DH, Idan Ortiz, who struck out in both of his at-bats. Throw over to first base to check on Velasquez, or excuse me, to check on the pinch runner Castillo over at first. Villasenor's first pitch to Trevino is hacked at and missed, strike 1. Frankie Trevino is a freshman out of Marion Catholic High School. He's 1 for 8 so far this year. Strike 2. The bottom third of the order, 7, 8, and 9 for Calumet in this game, 0 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. Trevino moves into the bottom of the order, and he strikes out. Number 11 for Villasenor, 2 in a row to end the 6th inning, and Calumet gets a 1-out single, but nothing more. They leave a man at first on our way to the 7th inning, 13-1. St. Francis on top. Six innings in, it has been all St. Francis today. Game 1 and Game 2 of the doubleheader. They took the opener 8-1. They've got a 13-1 lead here in Game 2. And they go to the bench. John Peterson leads off the 7th inning. Peterson's been out there several times already today as a pinch runner. Now he gets his first at bat, swings at the first pitch, flies it into center field, and a nice running grab made by Sean Moore out in right center. So Peterson sees one pitch. He's 0 for 1. And that'll bring up Martinez. We've seen a whole bunch of subs come in for Calumet St. Joe's, and St. Francis goes to their bench as well, but they'll leave their starting third baseman in there for his 5th plate appearance of the game. Been on 3 times already today, a walk, a hit by pitch, and a triple. A couple of runs and a couple of RBIs. He takes ball 1 low and in. "13 runs, 15 hits for St. Francis. Calumet's got a run on 7 hits. They've also struck out 11 times. Nick Villasenor has thrown a gem. Ball 2. And overshadowed somewhat by the fact that his offense has put up 13 runs. Season high for the Fighting Saints. Strike called, 2-1. Today's a day where their offense has had a chance to really get well against some struggling pitchers. They came in averaging 4 runs a game. Today they've got 21 runs in 2 games. Strike over the inside corner, 2-2. Calumet came into play today 7-18 overall. St. Francis was 7-16 overall. They were just a 1-game difference in conference play. So the game's figured to be a little bit more competitive than this. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Zachary Costello has his 4th strikeout in 2 2/3 innings. And now he can get his first 1-2-3 and his first scoreless inning if he retires Luke Ketchum. No, it won't be Ketchum. He's got to retire Dallas Matlock if he wants to have the scoreless inning. Matlock pinch hitting for Ketchum here. Strike 1 called. Calumet, so far at least, much improved over last year's squad, which won 10 games total. Matlock files it back, 0-2. They didn't get any conference wins last year, or non-conference wins, I should say. They've already had 5 of them this season. They're moving in the right direction. They had 7 total wins last year. I'd say 10. They went 0-10 in non-conference play is what I was looking at. But 7 total wins, all of them in conference. That ball is a grounder to second base. Wilkins tosses it to first to retire Matlock. And the inning is over. 1-2-3. It's the first perfect inning of the game for any Calumet pitcher. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. St. Francis with a big lead here. Trying to finish off a double-header sweep. It's 13-1. Bottom of the 7th inning, 13-1. St. Francis has the lead, and the first pitch of the inning is flown by Cody Wilkins out to right field and over the head of Dallas Matlock. It rolls all the way to the wall. Wilkins heads into second base. He's got a leadoff double. So Wilkins, who struck out in each of his first 2 at-bats, has his second hit of the doubleheader. 1 for 3 now in this game. And the leadoff man into scoring position for Calumet. First time they've had a runner at second base since the 4th inning. It was Matlock, as I mentioned, in right field, playing a very shallow right against a batter who Not going to go deep the other way all that often. First extra base hit of the year for Wilkins. It's his 5th hit total. And here is Maury Garrett Jr., who swings through the first pitch, strike one. A whole bunch of changes made by St. Francis defensively. You heard Matlock in right field. He did bat last inning as well. That ball is flown into right. Another chance for Matlock. He backs up on this one, and he can't find it. The ball drops next to him for another base hit. Garrett heads to second base. Wilkins thought it was going to be caught. He held up, but he advances to third on the play. Back-to-back extra base hits. The first 2 of the game for Calumet, and they've got him at second and third now with nobody out. That one looked like it was playable for Matlock, but he lost it in the sun, I think. It dropped right next to him as he was having trouble getting a good read on it. Then we're back to the top of the order, and Gabriel Quinones. Quinones takes strike one. Andrew Hancock, or rather Lucas Hancock, is into the game at first base for St. Francis. Swing and a miss, 0-2 on Quinones, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in this game. Villasenor's got 11 strikeouts already today. He came in today with 6 of them in 5 starts. He's got 11 in 1 start today, and 1 strike away for number 12 right now. Quinones grounds it to first base. Hancock has it. A run scores as Hancock steps on first base for the first out of the inning. And that's the far more important outcome for St. Francis right there, as they got the out. 3 unassisted. Garrett advances to third base. Wilkins comes home. 13-2 is the score. And the batter is center fielder Sean Moore. Matt Lopez is in at second base for St. Francis right now, as Moore swings to the first pitch, strike one. Alex Milcars is the shortstop, so mostly a new infield. Of course, Marshall McDonald came in to catch last inning after pinch hitting in the top of the 6th. Ball low and away. 1-1 on Moore. Moore's had a nice game at the plate. Not too many Crimson Wave hitters have, but he's 2 for 3 with a couple of singles and a run scored. He takes a strike over the outside corner. It's 1-2. Runner at third base with 1 out. It's an 11-run lead for the Fighting Saints. That runner at third, not a huge concern. Liner down the third base side, and that's just foul. That's as close as they come down the left field line. Moore nearly had an extra base hit. Already 2 doubles the inning for Calumet. They actually did have 1 other double back in the 3rd inning, so 3 extra base hits in the game now for the Crimson Wave. They've got 9 total hits as Moore is hit in the back, I think. Or did it get his bat? He ducked. I think it ricocheted off his bat. So foul ball. That one went over his head. But the count remains 1-2. Ground ball to first. That's foul ball. Still 2 strikes on Moore. Matchnick is on deck. So Brian Nowakowski is sticking with his starters at the top of the lineup here. Ball up and away, 2-2. Saw a bunch of pinch hitters last inning. But the regulars hanging out there for the 7th. There's a one-hopper back to the mound. Villasenor looks the runner to third and throws over to first base for the out. 1-3 on the putout, 2 down in the inning. That runner stays where he is, so the score remains 13-2. And the last chance for Calumet here is first baseman Michael Matchnick. Matchnick is 1 for 3. RBI 2-bagger in the 3rd inning. He has struck out twice. Villasenor doesn't have a strikeout here in the 7th as he misses outside for ball 1 on Matchnick. He had 1 in the 1st and then 2 in every inning after that. He'll settle for any kind of out right here. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Wouldn't mind a strikeout either, though. Quickly back into the windup, a swing and a miss, and the count is 1-2 on Michael Matchnick. The inning began with back-to-back doubles, but Villasenor did not lose his composure. Came right back, got back-to-back groundouts. Now 1-2 on Michael Matchnick, trying to put him away. It's fouled off. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Angel Sandoval went the distance in game 1, a 7-inning complete game. Now Nick Villasenor, who started this one for St. Francis and has been in control the entire way, misses low and away. Count is 2-2. Trying to retire Matchnick here and finish it off. Tapped foul off his foot. That one is painful. A cold day, anytime you get hit, it's going to sting a little bit more, and this one stings off his bat. We've seen a lot of guys get hit by pitches today, and that's always uncomfortable. That one, it looked like it got him maybe around the ankle or something like that, and it's a tough place to get hit. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Matchnick, who's seen 6 pitches in this at bat, not going down without a fight. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner on, 1 run in this inning. Matchnick floats it into left field, and that drops in for a base hit. Maury Garrett scores, and that makes it 13-3 on Michael Matchnick's second RBI hit of the game. So he comes back after hitting himself with the foul ball, and he comes up with an RBI hit. So Calumet still hanging around here, trying to pull back to within single digits, give themselves a shot as Matchnick departs at first base. Joseph Castillo comes in as a pinch runner for the second time today. He's at first with 2 outs. And the batter is Pantaleone. Christopher Pantaleone, pitcher / outfielder, came up for the first time last inning after coming on as a defensive replacement. He popped out to first base. So he is 0 for 1 in the game, and he takes a first pitch strike here. St. Francis scored 5 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 2 in the sixth as Pantaleone is hit by the pitch. He heads down to first base. Castillo advances to second. Villasenor was cruising through this first 6 innings, and here in the 7th, he just has not been able to put him away. 2 doubles, a single, and now a hit batter have kept this inning alive. And Velasquez will be the 7th batter of the inning for Calumet. First pitch to him is over for a strike. Austin Velasquez getting his second at bat of the game. He singled his last time up, and he takes a ball to even the count. Villasenor sets the 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. It's 1-2. He had Matchnick to 2 strikes a few moments ago, couldn't finish him off as Matchnick fought and fought, and then finally flared an RBI single in the left on the 7th pitch. Velasquez with 2 strikes stays alive as well with the foul ball back off the screen. Still 1-2. Villasenor working quickly. The next one, low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The senior lefty working hard to try to get out of this inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3, there it is. So a hard-fought 7th inning, but Nick Villasenor does finish it off with his 12th strikeout of the game, and St. Francis comes away victorious, 13-3, the final score. It was tough in the end, but Villasenor was able to get the complete game and knock out Calumet St. Joe's for a doubleheader sweep. Back-to-back 7-inning finals. as the Saints took the opener 8-1. And here in game 2, scheduled to go 9, they decided to go home early with a dominant showing, leading by 12. Heading into the 7th inning, they end up holding on for the 10-run lead to make sure it does finish a little bit early. Nick Villasenor went the distance 7 innings, racked up 12 strikeouts and allowing 3 runs, and he picks up the victory. Villasenor, who was brilliant in his last start, but took a no decision and an extra inning win, this time does pick up the victory, his 2nd of the season. He improves to 2-3 for the year. The losing pitcher is the starter for Calumet. Maxwell Everart lasted 4 innings, and he allowed 9 runs in those 4 innings. He falls to 1-4 on the season. This one wasn't exactly over right at the beginning, but it sure felt like it when St. Francis scored 5 runs before Calumet even got a chance to bat. It was 5 straight 2-out base runners for the Fighting Saints. Walk, single, hit by a pitch, single, and then the big hit, a 2-run triple for Alex Martinez. He scored on a wild pitch to make it 5-0. They added 3 more runs in the 2nd when they loaded the bases, and Eric Maffey brought them all home on a double, so it was 8-0. Calumet did show a little bit of fight. In the bottom of the 3rd inning, they got back-to-back 2-out hits, a single from Sean Moore, and then an RBI double from Michael Matchnick made it 8-1. But that's when the Saints pulled away once again. They got a sac fly from Jake Lasota in the 4th to make it 9-1, and then they extended the lead to double digits in the 5th inning. A 2-run double from Eric Maffey gave them an 11-1 advantage. John McGuire got an RBI single in the 6th. Eric Maffey followed with an RBI single of his own. Maffey finished with 6 RBIs and 2 runs scored in this 2nd game. He had 7 RBIs total as part of the doubleheader today. His RBI single in the 6th inning in today's game 2 made it 13-1, and it looked like a done deal. The Saints were going to go home after 7 innings, but Calumet fought back. They scored a couple in the 7th, getting doubles from Wilkins and Garrett, and then RBIs from Quinones and Matchnick. But with 2 on and 2 out, Nick Villasenor buckled down, and he struck out Velasquez, his 12th strikeout of the game, to finish off the 13-3 victory. 13 runs, 15 hits, no errors for St. Francis. Calumet finished with 3 runs on 9 hits and an error. So the final score, 13-3 after an 8-1 victory in Game 1. The Saints improved their overall record on the season to 9-18. They are now 5-3 in conference play. Calumet falls to 7-18. They are 2-6 against CCAC opponents, and these teams will play one more at Calumet to wrap up the series. But that'll do it for today. A doubleheader sweep and an impressive showing for the Fighting Saints all around today. 8-1, 13-3. They are victorious. That'll do it for me from Joliet today. Thanks for tuning in. Terry Bonadonna signing off. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your Friday.